Hey, Rooted Coop family! Welcome back to another exciting episode. Today, we're keeping it simple and sustainable. We're only going to be using a whisk and 3 ingredients for this coconut soap recipe. Well, technically, we're going to be using 5, but we'll get into that in a bit. Before we dive into this process, make sure to subscribe, and if you haven't already, hit that bell icon to stay up to date on all things Rooted Coop. Now, let's get started. All right, for our soap, we are sticking to the basics and keeping it simple: coconut oil, lye, and water. But we're going to add a bit of flair by throwing in some mica powder for the colorant and a little bit of fragrance oil for just that extra touch. But those 2 ingredients are completely optional. Now, I know what you're thinking, that that's more than 3 ingredients, and that is true. But the core of our soap is still a simple 3 ingredient blend. The mica powder simply adds a pop of color, and the fragrance oil gives it a delightful scent. But you can feel free to skip these steps if you want to keep strictly to the 3 ingredients. So now we've gotten started. Remember, safety first. Make sure that you have your gloves and goggles, and we're going to talk about the process. In this video, I had already pre-measured and warmed my coconut oil and prepared my lye water solution ahead of time. I'm also soaping at a slightly warmer temperature just to speed things up a bit, since using a whisk only and not a stick blender, it may take longer to come to trace. But safety first, soap second. I already had my warm coconut oil and my lye water solution was ready, and I added those at the beginning, and then I just carefully started mixing the lye solution into the melted coconut oil using only a whisk. I'm going to be taking breaks in between to allow the soap to rest and come together. And this will take a little bit longer, but it's a fantastic way to create a handmade soap without extra equipment. So I'm just simply going to be whisking this together and then bringing all of it to trace. For this batch, I'm using 16 ounces of coconut oil, and I'm going to be adding in 1 ounce of fragrance oil. And I chose a wild cherry scent for this batch. So I just added the fragrance oil to the recipe, and I will continue whisking some more. I'm soaping at a 25% super fat discount. Since it's coconut only, the high super fat will allow for this to be a creamy and nourishing bar that will be wonderful for your skin. Coconut oil can be drying if not used in high super fat. I'm also using a 33% water discount. I will post the recipe on the screen for those that want to follow along, but it was 5.28 ounces of water and 2.2 ounces of sodium hydroxide. And we will continue to whisk. I'm also going to be trying to do this with as little cut as possible in the filming so you can see the full process from start to beginning without the edits being made. I'm going to allow this to sit for a moment. As you can see, it's not fully incorporated and it wants to separate. So back to whisking we go. Allowing this to sit for a moment to check the consistency to make sure that we have reached trace. And as you can see, it's separated back out. We had not reached trace yet. So back to whisking again. Just going to be using the whisk to scrape down the side of the container to see if we're about to have it all incorporated. It appears to be staying together, and it appears that we have reached a very light trace and got it all blended together. I'm using silicone molds to pour this into just because of the ease of those for the unmolding purposes. Coconut oil soap can become very hard and it can be very hard to cut, and so I'm using molds to make it a little simpler. You could also use other items to make your own molds. All right, we have finally reached the point that we can pour this into our molds. So there you have it, our 3-ingredient coconut oil soap with a little twist. And guess what? No need for a stick blender, just a good old whisk. Remember, the mica powder and the fragrance oil are optional, so feel free to customize this recipe to your liking. A unscented, uncolored bar creates a beautiful bar as well, and it has lots of moisturizing lather, and we will do a lather test at the end of this video as well when we come back and unmold. I'm going to let the soap sit for probably about 12 to 24 hours. But again, with the molds, it's really easy to unmold it this way. It does it does create a hard bar fairly quickly. And after you unmold it, let it sit for probably 4 to 6 weeks for the cure to allow all the excess water weight to evaporate in it to finish the process. But I've got it all poured up. We will show the unmolding, and then we will also do a lather test. How many bars this recipe made with only our whisk. It was a simple recipe. It did take quite a bit of time to do, but with this with the stick blender, it would have only taken minutes. But this is a way that you can test this out. You can customize and create this recipe to your liking. Here they are after 12 to 24 hours. And we will unmold those, and then I will do a quick lather test to show you how they turn out. But I thought they turned out very nice. there's what our lather looks like. And again, once this all sets up and has plenty of time, it creates a beautiful, very nourishing, moisturizing bar that I think everyone will enjoy. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share your creations with us. Thank you for joining me today. And as always, remember to stay clean, stay creative, and stay rooted. Enjoy the scents and embrace the suds. And until next time, bye.